Sheila Drush and I, Catherine Brown, are so delighted to work with the city to put this together, to celebrate international recognition. International recognition. There's Lima, there's Toronto, there's Tokyo, and then there's Providence, in the vanguard. So this is a moment when we can take some pride, well-deserved, for the recognition that's coming our way. And also we can energize for what's coming next. And a lot of this is possible because of the leadership in our city government. And it's my honor, and Sheila's as well, to introduce our mayor, Elorza.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us for this. This is something that we have been looking forward to and planning for a long time. So it's really exciting that the day has come and we can get this conversation going and this panel discussion. So I want to recognize a lot of the people who made this all possible. Beginning, of course, with Catherine Brown, the former director of the Southside Community Land Trust, and still doing really amazing work. So it's great to have you here in our city, and we appreciate everything that you've done for our community over the years. Can you all please join me in recognizing? I also want to recognize Sheila. Sheila is a retiree from Grossmart, Rhode Island, and we'll be hearing from her in just a second, but I appreciate you very much, Sheila. And also I want to recognize the folks on my team that are here, beginning with Bonnie and Ellen. So one little secret is, when I was a new mayor and I was meeting with all my directors and the employees, I literally thought that Bonnie and Ellen were the same person. So seeing them sitting next to each other, just messing with me right now. I eventually figured it out, but both of you do really amazing work. I want you to know, just tell you again rather, how much I appreciate you. And we're also joined by Nellie, who's the program associate in the Providence Office of Sustainability, and to talk about doing so much with so little. Our Office of Sustainability, just as our Healthy Communities Office, does so much with the resources that they have. We appreciate you, Nellie, and of course, Leah Bamberger, our director. But I wanted to begin by just sharing with you a couple of reasons why I believe this is so important to us. In our world right now, where it seems as though every adult on TV seems to be angry and in a shouting match with another adult on TV, and it really does seem as though there are some toxins that have found its way into the veins of American culture. We need to find ways to constantly bring people together. And while the forces that divide us seem to be stronger than they've been in any of our lifetimes, we can't wait for the forces that bring us together to come from on high. We are the forces that bring us together here at the local level. And I can think of very few things more than arts, culture, and the humanities that bring us together, and food is an important part of that. The culinary arts incorporate, of course, the arts, but so much of culture revolves around food, and I think that this is an important part to always remember. It's just a way to bring us together as a community. The other reason I think that this is so important is because it helps us preserve our culture. My family comes from Guatemala, and I consider myself very much Guatemalan because, as my father will probably say, I like to eat spicy food. But it's the tortillas, it's the black beans, it's the carne asada, the guacamole, all those things that help me identify with that culture. What's so neat about that is that you can easily export that culture and bring other people into the fold so that they identify with it as well. Food has such a transformative quality to it in both Guatemalan culture and in every culture throughout the world. And so it's so important to take a moment, pause, and celebrate that. And here in Providence, we have so much to celebrate. We are recognized far and wide as a culinary capital, as a culinary destination. We're home to some of the most critically acclaimed restaurants in the country. Pound for pound, Providence has more to offer on the culinary scene than any city in the United States of America. Much of that is anchored by Johnson & Wales, of course, the best culinary school in the United States. And we also are very fortunate to have the nation's largest publicly traded grocery distributor, UNFI, right here in our city. And in recent years, Providence has continued to develop this reputation as a regional food production and distribution hub. Our unique mixture of ingredients, they encompass a resident community of urban farmers that continues to grow, a robust consumer market for organic and local foods, again continuing to grow, and it's also our strategic location within the country's most densely populated and economically powerful urban corridor here in the Northeast. This constitutes Providence's recipe for success in more ways than one. We're driving economic development citywide by capitalizing on fast growth trends in organic food markets and making strategic investments in light food manufacturing, distribution, startups, food tech, waste food recovery, and also urban agricultural production. Providence has been out in the forefront of integrating urban agriculture into thoughtful city planning that you'll hear more from in just a second to help identify opportunities to combat diet-related chronic disease, reduce the amount of vacant and underutilized land around the city, cut down on wasted food, and also strengthen local soils through composting, and catalyzing, of course, economic development at the citywide and neighborhood level. Now Providence is on the verge of welcoming 3 new food production and distribution businesses to the area that we're so excited about. I'm sure all of you know about Farm Fresh Rhode Island, a nonprofit that was initially founded in 2004 as a student project at Brown University, and helps to develop a direct connection between Rhode Island farmers, residents, and consumers. Rhode Island Farm Fresh was awarded an $850,000 loan through the Providence Business Loan Fund, and also the city won a $150,000 grant from the United States Conference of Mayors that we gave to Farm Fresh Rhode Island. We also have Gotham Greens, an 110,000 square foot high-tech urban agriculture greenhouse located in the Valley neighborhood that's currently under construction. And if you've driven by it, you see that it looks absolutely marvelous. When it's completed later this year, the facility will supply residents, restaurants, and food service customers throughout Providence and the greater New England region with 10 million heads of lettuce and leafy greens annually. I mean, that's hard to wrap your head around, 10 million heads. And last but certainly not least, we have Urban Greens Food Co-op that's also currently under construction on the site of the former Loudit Laundry Building at 93 Cranston Street that will provide 630 co-op members locally sourced food and produce. Once completed, this $10 million mixed-use development will also provide 30 new residential units for our residents here in Providence, including affordable housing units funded through the city's Homeowner Home Investment Partnership Program. So these projects, they all complement each other, and they complement the city's efforts already underway to convert hundreds of acres of formerly polluted lands along the Woonasquatucket River that we have major plans on, and many of you have been involved with in helping us come up with that vision. Not only will these projects provide jobs and training to residents in all of these areas, but it also helps to create a new green future that benefits the quality of life of residents citywide. And I want to share with you that one of the innovations that we've brought to City Hall over the past several years is the way that we break down silos within the administration. And there's a way that you could think about your departments as standalone units, but we challenge that and we try to think of our focus areas as ones that span across every single department. whether it's community health and how that impacts all the things that we care about, or whether it's culinary, sustainability, and even planning. We're integrating all of these elements into every department in the city. So I'm excited to see culinary arts, healthy eating, dieting, and staying active and healthy also being a focus for what we do in things ranging from logical choices such as our recreation department, but also integrating it into things such as parks and our school departments as well. So thank you all for being a part of this. I look forward to being a continuing part of this conversation to see how you all and we can push each other to go even deeper and lean into these challenges that present so much opportunity for our community. Thank you all so much.